What's up, guys? Welcome to the first video on this channel. If you're seeing this video, you were officially at ground zero, as it were, of our YouTube channel here. And I thought there was no better topic to start this channel off than this art, this concept of being able to rewire your brain, actually change your identity, become this different version of yourself, the best version of yourself, in order to get the things you want in life. And a lot of that, and a lot of the reason I've created this channel and I've gone through a lot of the things I've gone through just in the past, I'd say decade almost now at this point. I'm about to be 25, quite literally, in about a week's time. So, um, yeah, let's get into this. A lot of the things I'm going to be talking about throughout this channel are going to be surrounding this idea, yes, of self-improvement, but really how to become the best version of yourself, how to look the best, how to think the best, how to be with the best people, change your environment, cultivate things so that you can be not only in the right mind space, but also centered spiritually and be able to cut and maneuver through life in a way that's efficient and again gets you to where you want to be, wherever that might be. I don't know you, and you obviously don't know me yet, but you will. And I hope that you learned something from some of these videos that I dropped. I know that putting them out is going to teach me a lot about myself too. So without further ado, let's get into this concept, this art of rewiring your brain. And I want to start off first with really the idea of why it's so important, right? And it's this idea that your dreams are out of your reach, right? And I'm not sitting here saying that I've accomplished all my dreams, et cetera, right? I'm just saying that we all have these dreams, these goals, these aspirations, and they're here. And we're down here trying to reach up, trying to propel ourselves over to be able to grab a star, reach the dream itself, and we're not able to. And it's really just a physical representation of not being at that level yet. You're not at that caliber. I'm firmly of the belief that the universe will provide for you if you prove yourself to it. So it's this concept that if you don't rewire your brain, you don't become this new version of yourself, you don't destroy and build aspects of yourself in order to evolve, these dreams are going to continue to be out of your reach. And this is coming from me where I've spent a lot of time way before making this channel, but years even of just not taking the time and not fully comprehending that I needed to become not somebody else, but just a better version of myself, someone who thinks clearer and acts more decisively, right? And it's easier said than done, obviously, but these dreams and these aspirations are going to continue to be out of your reach. You actually will never be able to reach them unless you actually commit and decide to become this greater version of yourself, right? And the ideas and the habits from your childhood and society and your teachers coming up in school, your parents, whatever, at best, they're outdated, right? You know, I'm 24 now, about to be 25. 2.5 decades have gone by since I've been alive. You might be younger, you might be older watching this video. Time has passed, right? And over that time, we have evolved a lot, especially in this age, just with technology and things like that. So, not to say that all ideas and habits are rooted in that evolution, but it is to say that you should constantly be evolving and constantly be learning and implementing new things. And the problem is that a lot of these things you are fed and these ideas and concepts are not of your own volition, right? They're fed to you from some authority figure, some adult that is telling you this is the way, this is how it has to be. If you don't follow this way, there's going to be consequences, right? And it could be anything. At worst, it's poison, right? So at best, it doesn't really work anymore. Or it might not work for you anymore, the person you are now. But at worst, it's actually detrimental for you or people in general, or the person you are now or trying to become, right? So you have to reinvent your brain. Dreams are out of your reach. You're not that person yet because you've been fed all of this junk that's at best useless and at worst detrimental to you. The only solution is to reinvent your mind, because through reinventing your mind, reinventing yourself, you can become a different version, and that version of you is the one who's actually going to conquer their dreams, able to take the actions and the steps necessary to get to that evolved area in your life, whatever that may be. Right? So if you want your outward world to change, your internal world needs to change first. And that's why this concept of rewiring your brain and being able to change who you are is so, so important. And change is inevitable, right? Just talking about environment, like I was saying earlier. So you have to be able to evolve with the times, right? You have to be able to evolve in order to meet these goals and aspirations you have, because you likely have them from a place of desire and you want these things, but the levels that they're at in order to achieve them are not attainable by the version of yourself that you are right now. And that gets into the point of, well, if that's all true, and maybe you know that, right? Intuitively, deep down, subconsciously, whatever, you know, okay, I need to be this type of person who does this, this, and this. And okay, boom, especially around this time, right? Right? It's second week, third week of January, and people are still fresh on that New Year's resolution high, right? Where that concept of revolution or resolutions, sorry, is amazing, because it is the concept that we're talking about here. It's the problem is that people give up because they're comfortable with where they are now. You've gotten this far, right? So it is what it is. And this is where things like technology and the way our society is set up now come into play, because comfort is all around us. Even you sitting here right now watching this video, maybe you're driving in your car, listening to me on your speaker system, going to your job that pays you a salary, and then you get to go home and you pay your bills at home, and then you got your phone whenever you're bored, and then you can order food on your phone, TV, constant entertainment, stimulation, boom, boom, boom. You're comfortable, right? Things aren't great, but things aren't terrible. So fuck it. Play in the middle, right? Your brain craves this. It craves the comfort and it will fight you to keep it. And you're going to lose this war to your brain day in and day out. Every time you cede to comfort, you're losing that war with your brain. And don't get it twisted, you are at war with your brain. Because this person you're trying to become, aka better version of you, is still attached to who you are now. And the problem is, who you are now sees, hey, there's less danger. We're doing perfectly fine right now. What it's not fully aware of, and why it will constantly pull back, is it doesn't understand the reward of changing, becoming this other person. And even though change might be inevitable, it still is not, right? It's loss aversion. The negatives far outweigh the positives, or at least the hypothetical positives, which we're about to get into. And there's no growth in comfort, but there's also less danger. That's why your brain's going to fight you day in and day out to keep this identity, because we have primitive minds, right? In the grand scheme of the universe and whatever, humans, maybe in our vacuum, we've evolved very quickly, but in reality, not so much. not as much as our egos will lead us to believe, right? So understand that the brain is going to prioritize survival, what it knows, and anything outside of that, it is going to fill with hypotheticals. The problem is these hypotheticals prevent us from growth and learning. And if we can't grow and we can't learn new things, we can never become something else. We can never become that different version. And this is the problem. The hypotheticals and the way our brain hypothesizes it, this is the default. This is how your brain is going to think unless you have full focus and intention behind rewiring it and moving against the grain. Okay? Your brain doesn't know everything. You don't know everything. You never will. Spoiler alert. Nobody does. I won't. Your mom, your dad, whatever. Nobody. But the unknown will be replaced with hypotheticals. And a lot of the times, these hypotheticals, uh, honestly, I'd say almost always, they're going to be negative. They're going to be negative because of our primitive objective to keep us alive. It is more important to survive than it is to change and evolve, because changing and evolving is like, well, the number one rule is don't change it if it's not broken, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I was looking for. But the brain doesn't understand that hypotheticals in today's day and age do a lot more harm than good. They're over exaggerated, they're overused because the idea of surviving is not as intense, or death is not as nearby as it was hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, right? So adapting to the modern world, that's not easy, right? These hypotheticals, unless you know something, your brain's going to pretend to know that thing and fill an unknown with a hypothetical, right? Anytime there's something you're thinking about, if you haven't actually experienced that thing, your brain is going to fill it with hypotheticals. Now, maybe you heard from this person and you did this research, but you haven't actually done that thing. You haven't actually experienced it. So that's why experiences are king. Experiences are so powerful, and they supersede hypotheticals in pretty much every single aspect. Because an experience is quite literally when the unknown becomes known. Your first experience of something, whatever it may be, it's evidence, concrete evidence, a memory, something to reflect back on that happened in reality. The hypothetical loses its power. The negative, thought out fantasy has a lot less weight. Now, to say it disappears is naive, I'd say, right? Because we all know just doing something once, there's going to be that time where your brain goes, well, you got lucky. That's not how it always is. It shouldn't have been like that. This and this happened, right? Oh, that was a one off, whatever. It's not enough evidence, right? But even the first new experience, it introduces it to your brain that your hypothetical might not be true, because prior to that, all you had was the hypothetical. So who's not to say it's 100% correct, it's 100% factual, that thing is actually dangerous, that action is actually bad, I shouldn't become this, I shouldn't start doing that, because I don't know what will happen if I do. I've never done that thing before, so just stay back. But then you do it. And you do it, and maybe you even feel good. Maybe you have a positive experience. Maybe you have a negative experience. Either way, it's very powerful, because it will pretty much never be exactly like the hypothetical. It might meet an expectation, and there might be some similarity, but there's no experience you're actually going to have that meets your hypothetical to the T, because your senses are involved in XYZ, right? There's a lot of things at play because from your mind to reality, it's going to be completely different, right? So understanding this, we know that action is the bridge to experiences, which plants roots in our reality. Action is what gets us to the experience. And then those experiences quite literally form our reality. But the mind needs to be convinced. This is just like I said, your brain is not just going to be won over by a one-off. You do that thing once, you do it twice, you do it 5 times. This is the concept of habits, right? Everybody has all these different rules out there, right? 21 days to build a new habit, 2 months to make it a lifestyle, whatever, right? I don't want to put a number on this thing, right? Because it's not really what I'm trying to talk about here. But of course, what those people are right about is that repetition is key. You have to stay disciplined. You have to keep doing that thing over and over and over and over again. Keep building the bridges to these experiences, to the same experience. Keep reinforcing that bridge, because every time you're presenting new evidence, not like the hypothetical, not like the hypothetical, not like the hypothetical, right? At some point there will be so much doubt that the hypothetical won't even fucking exist, and the fear and the unknowing that was attached with it are gone. And even if they're not gone, they're so insignificant that it doesn't keep you in this paralysis anymore. I have a terrible, terrible habit of having this analysis paralysis, right? Not taking action quick enough, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sure some of you guys have experienced this in one way or another, right? Because the hypothetical bogs you down and the emotions tied with it. Then if you let it fester, logic starts coming into it. Well, it's fearful and it is dangerous because of XYZ, because this, and this could happen, right? But it's all fairy dust, right? Like Matthew McConaughey said, you don't know until you do it. And you really don't know until you do it over and over and over again. And that thing that you're doing over and over and over again is this concept of the last bullet point here: act as if you are. So it's a little different than fake it till you make it, like I said at the beginning of the video, because we're not faking anything. We're fighting the war, really, in reality. We're taking the actions day in, day out, and we're fighting this old primitive brain of ours that just wants to stay in comfort zone 24/7. But acting as if you are, taking the actions with the mindset and the understanding and the consciousness of, no, 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 I'm doing this because I am this person. I am that dude right now, right fucking now. Not tomorrow, not in 5 years, no, right now. And if you have that mindset, it gives you that backbone to actually go do the thing, despite the resistance you're going to get from your own mind. And as the repetition comes along and you do it day in and day out, you will become that person. And your brain will eventually get on board. It will rewire itself. There's so many other things that this can be attributed to, right? I'm talking about habits here, right? If you made it this far in the video, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about habits, but I'm talking about how habits get formed the right way. How habits actually lead to you becoming something else, a more evolved version of you. The foe becomes the ally. The thing you were fighting against, your brain, starts to get with the program. You'll notice this waking up early. I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day. Every day. And I have for, honestly, about the past year or so. Because I work a job, I have to go to that job, gotta hit the gym before. It is what it is. It was really fucking hard in the beginning. But I said to myself, I'm that guy who gets up at 4 a.m. and I don't fucking complain about it. And I do it over and over and over and over and over again. Weekends, holiday, doesn't fucking matter. Vacation, get up. And over time, dude, just the other day, I woke up before my alarm, like 15 minutes before my alarm. It's like, fuck it, I'll just get out of bed now. Compared to when I first started this, you're so tempted to hit the snooze. Maybe I did hit the snooze. And I just kind of laid in bed for a while, just contemplating, oh, I don't want to get out of, what if 15 more minutes, oh, what if I just, fuck that. That's me fighting the battle now. It's like, I can't even stay in the fucking bed. I can't. My, my, my brain won't allow it. No, 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 we're this guy now. Rewired. It's the same thing with eating healthier, right? Whole food diet. I deviate from this every now and then. I do. Have my cheat meals, cheat days, unfortunately. But the times I'm dialed, 2, 3 weeks in, dude, you don't even want to eat some fried shit, some processed fucking cereal for breakfast or whatever the fuck you used to eat all the goddamn time. You don't want to. You, your brain is like, well, I thought we were doing this, right? It was fighting you, but then upon you pushing through that, it's like, okay, this new thing isn't so dangerous, and it's actually making me feel good. That's the other thing, if you have good habits, right? Not overly stimulating yourself with TV and shit, reading, meditating, right? I'm not here to break down a list of habits for you guys. You kind of know the habits, right? If you're watching this, I'm assuming it's not your first self-improvement content. You know what you should be doing. You know what that version of yourself should be doing, would be doing. I'm just telling you, go fucking do it because at one point it gets easier. Not only easier, it becomes amazing. Because this concept, this part right here where the foe becomes the ally, your brain gets on the right track, understanding who you want to be, and then it subscribes to that because you've shown it through action, through repetition, through staying disciplined, staying focused. Dude, you're and this will be a whole nother video, but your confidence and self-esteem goes through the fucking roof. I feel the best about myself in the past couple months of just sticking to these things that I said I wanted to do because I wanted to be this type of dude, and then waking up and doing it every single day. And now I wake up and there is no war. The conflict, the internal struggle, it's over, right? There's going to be times where you have tiffs, you have taffs. There's a little uprising in the lower village of the kingdom. Couple of the townsfolk get a little upset, but you stay focused. You stay the course. You don't concede, right? You don't just fall off the fucking wagon. No, 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 no. Keep going. Because it all goes back to this version of you. What does this version of you do? It goes and gets the fucking things you want. And the root of that version of you, the best version of you, this evolved version of you, it does these new habits that aren't so new anymore. So that's all I have to say about this. Keep that in mind next time you guys are feeling lazy, you're having an off day. Even when you reach this phase, man, point in my life where I feel like I'm vibrating at such a high frequency, there's going to be days because depending on the habits you do, falling back, regressing, it is still comfortable, right? Remember, your brain still craves comfort, and a lot of these things, even when your brain subscribes to it in a habitual sense, it's still gonna creep in there every now and then, like, hey, we could be doing that. That is easier. Don't fall for that trap. This version of you doesn't fucking slip. And when he does, he gets the fuck back up. Falls off the horse, get back on. Alright? I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Deuces.